Young Mr. Swift,
Yes, sir.
at the risk of offending a lot of people, I have quite a business idea.
There's nothing good that's gonna come out of this, but let's
Follow me
go.
here
Let's
on
go
this.
on the journey. Okay.
Body of Christ pizza.
Oh my God. I don't know you. I don't know you.
What?
I
Hear
don't
me?
know you.
Follow me
I
through on
do
this.
not know you.
Follow me through on this.
No, I don't even want to follow
Each
you through
specialty
on
pizza
this.
is called the Apostles, and that's where like the all the best pizzas, all of our specialty pizzas are. The one that has
Wait,
anchovies on it will be the Judas, because nobody likes anchovies. Nobody likes Judas. Hey, we got that
wait a
Judas
minute.
coming out for you. We'll have it to you in less than an hour.
What do you mean we? See, did you not hear me? I distance myself here.
Think about it. Our
I'm
slogan:
gonna have to
pizza so good you'll want to serve it at the Last Supper. Huh? Huh? Come on. That's a gold mine.
I'm gonna have
That's
to
a
start
gold
saying
mine.
Hail
Not a
Marys for
gold
the
mine
rest of my
nonetheless.
life because of you. This is almost as bad as the Trump memes that I keep seeing.
But he thought he was a doctor. Anyway, you know where this stems from? I was having a
What
conversation.
is it?
I was having a conversation yesterday. Yesterday,
Hmm.
when I was a young child in Catholic church, my mom and my grandmother took me, and in Catholic church, you take communion, which in a lot of churches, not just Catholic church,
Right.
you take communion. But in Catholic
Hmm.
church, like I've been to Christian churches where the communion is like a little tiny, like almost like a pill kind of thing.
Yep.
In
Hmm.
Catholic church, it's like a wafer, like a little circle
Right.
kind of thing. And
Exactly.
I remember we took communion and I sat back in the pew, and my mom and my grandmother, if it weren't a church, would have beat me into submission because I said loud enough to be heard by everybody else, I wish they offered the communion barbecue flavored. It's like there's a whole market there. How'd you like your body of Christ? Barbecue, sour cream and onion,
Barbecue.
cheddar cheese. Like,
That's horrible.
so it wasn't good.
Although I do have a funny communion story. So I went to communion, or I went to church with my friend Travis. God, I don't know. We had to be maybe 12, I think. Anyway, his mother was Catholic, and so we're going through the service and communion. Here comes communion. Travis looks at me. He goes, "You got to go with us." I'm like, I'm not. I don't know if I'm supposed to." It's like we got to go. I'm like, all right. So we go down and we all kneel and go through the whole thing. Well, they go to give me the priest goes to give me the wine, and I don't know if it was the angle or what, but he dumped like uh just put two and two together. I'm a 12-year-old kid. He just gave me a mouthful of wine. I mean, he blasted me with the and like to the point where it almost came out of my mouth. Like I did not expect a whole mouthful of actual real wine. My church, kind of like you're describing, it was almost like a little wafer, like a little pill type of deal,
Yeah.
and grape juice.
Okay.
It was white grape juice. This was a whole different experience for me. I was lit in church.
Yeah. So I was
That was the first time I could say I was actually drunk.
when high school me took communion, he always wanted a Padre, fill it up again. So, but it was
Mm-hmm.
never,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
probably wouldn't have worked that way. Anyway, my I'm Stephen Lewis. That's Mike Swift. We're two radio dudes.
Hello.
Talk about what's on our mind on a weekly basis. All the socials are there. Feel free to follow, comment, like, all that kind of stuff. Dislike. I'll probably get lambasted for my, you know, religion. Can we call it religious satire, or is it something
That was sacrilegious. That
sacrilegious?
was
Okay.
That was, man, you're
Oh, look,
wow.
you know what messed me up? The educational system of the world. You know why? I was a fine, upstanding Catholic youth, maybe borderline Catholic Christian youth, until I got to college and I took a class called non-Western religions. And after that, it changed my perspective on everything. So I blame the educational system for part
I
of what this is.
blame you for being weak-minded and just giving in, but hey, all right, whatever.
Um, so today, I guess it's my turn to go first. Would you like something? Would you like something somewhat light-hearted and easy to have a discussion about, or would you like something more relationship geared that is borderline angry or depressive? I'll let you choose. Which one would you want to go
Oh no, no, Stephen Lewis, when we went through this a couple of weeks ago, and I
with?
had no, no, we're not playing that card, sir. You choose. This is what's on your
Well,
mind.
since I've already pissed off the Almighty, let's go with a little lighthearted this week.
Okay.
Because the beauty of desperate pain, relationships, anger, regret, all that stuff, it is universal. It will hang around for a few weeks and probably rear its head again and be good to go then. So, um, do you know what this week is? Big week for people like you and people like me.
Uh,
I'll answer for you.
don't know.
It is
Please.
WrestleMania week,
Oh, well, okay. Yes. All right.
which one of the greatest wrestling games ever was on the was it the not the Super Nintendo.
It was the
Which system
um
was it?
not the suit. Oh God, the
One after
N64.
N64. WrestleMania 2000 was the greatest wrestling
Oh
game
my
ever created.
God, was it ever?
And we used to play that game. So, who was your guy? Kid Nasty?
Yeah, yours was Sebastian
Sebastian
Steele.
Steele.
What the hell?
My
I had
submission.
I had two guys. I had Kid Nasty and his brother was oh my gosh. It was it's gonna come to me. I can't remember, but
I
they
remember.
they they were almost like crazy, like built off of the Ultimate Warrior type.
Yeah. McConnell was Mike Maximum.
Carnage.
Carnage.
It was Carnage, Kid Carnage,
Kid
Kid
Carnage.
Nasty, and Kid Carnage, his
McConnell
big
was
brother.
Mike. McConnell was Mike Maximum. And I used that. What did I use? I think I used the sharpshooter, but I called it like the Steel Rain or something like that. And like I'm
Yes,
like Steel
yes.
Rain, Steel Rain. I would lock it.
Yes, you would.
But my all-time favorite team that I put together was that cheesy ass tag team I built called the Real Americans, and it was all like these two Olympic dudes that I would fight. And I had Hulk Hogan's theme song, so whenever I did a move, I'd be like dun 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 dun, dun. Like it was so bad. Anyway, this is WrestleMania week, which
Hmm.
I will say most of the time wrestling hasn't moved me much since way back in the day when we used to watch it. Although a couple of years ago, I was moved to almost like teared up during a WWE storyline, which is kind of embarrassing. Last couple of years have been a little irritating, and I've been kind of following it this year, not necessarily because of the storyline, um, but more so because of the company that bought WWE. Because Vince McMahon's always been a scumbag. Everybody knows Vince McMahon's always been a
Well,
scumbag.
he
No secret. But when all that stuff went down, he sold the company to another company called TKO, which also owns UFC. And a
yep.
lot of people were interested as to what was going to go on and how they were going to do things. And I'm using WWE as an example because this will lead into kind of a bigger discussion. But it was they started making so much money because WWE got hot again. I would argue probably the hottest it's been since what, maybe the beginning of the John Cena era, end of the Stone Cold Steve Austin Rock era, that kind of thing.
I
You
would
know,
agree.
okay. So it got pretty hot with some of the characters that are in there now, and they sell out everywhere they go. But what TKO did when it first came in is it started eliminating the majority of these small town shows, which kind of sucks because if you're not anywhere near a major city, the odds of you being able to go check out a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or premium live event now is few and far between because they only do them in the major cities because they need 20,000 plus seat arenas to put all these people in. And if you're, you know, Cuyahoga, Pennsylvania, you probably have a 4,000 seat arena that's not going to cut it for Raw. And I just made up a city. I know. And I combined.
I was gonna say Cuyahoga. You know what? Big shout out to Cuyahoga, Pennsylvania, like the big Mick Foley
All right, Piedmont, North
pause
Dakota.
for
If
the
you're in
crowd.
Piedmont, North Dakota, thank you. Thank you. Exactly. But they sell out all these
The
crowds.
Piedmont
So
crowd is
it
going to get a
started,
huge spike from this.
they will. It started last year with them selling out everywhere, and they started raising ticket prices. So they took everything to New Orleans last year, excuse me, they took everything to Las Vegas last year. And because of The Rock, it kind of went sour and it didn't quite sell out all the way. I mean, it did okay, but it didn't quite sell out. But then they came out and announced that it was going to be in New Orleans. And then all of a sudden they came back out and said, nah, sorry, we're not going to go to New Orleans. Las Vegas offered us more money, so we're going back there again. And it's not selling out now. It's close, but it's not a sellout like it should be. And I don't blame the card, even though they've injected a lot of really dumb stuff the last couple of weeks, Pat McAfee. They've interjected a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily what anybody was calling for. But they've come out publicly and said they're not lowering ticket prices for anything. So what's happening now is because it's not selling, they've come out on a couple of different occasions and said they've either had people like CM Punk and say it or somebody else say it to get them to drop ticket prices. So now they've dropped ticket prices 25% because it's one weekend, it's next weekend, and they've got to get people to go out there. The other problem, and this is, I think, a bigger problem that I think pissed a lot of people off, for the first time in the history of a 42-year-old event, they are taking the event overseas, and that's not the issue, but they're taking the event overseas to Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia, much like if you're in the music business and you have to compete against a casino will pay an artist that's worth $10,000, $30,000 just to get them in the casino because they want people to go there and gamble. Now, for the artist, it's a payday because they're never going to get $30,000 if they're not in a casino. So why would you take $10,000 when you can take $30,000? I understand that. So WWE is going overseas to Saudi Arabia next year for the first time. And I think there are still a lot of people that are pissed about that. And I'm not even talking about the current political climate in Saudi Arabia. I think it's just a principle. Now, if the WWE would have taken it to Europe or England, probably not a big deal because WWE has been doing events in England forever. And I don't think it would have been as big of a deal. I also think that if you're one of those people that has the money to travel, you're more likely to get on a plane in New York City and land in London to go watch a WWE event than you are to get on a plane in New York City and fly to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
There's that kind of backlash. So now you have this thing where the prices are too high and people have finally reached their point where the one thing about WWE, say what you want about Vince McMahon, it was always a very affordable ticket. If you wanted to take your family to a WWE house show, you could probably get $100 worth of tickets for four of you for $100. You know what I mean? And go sit there and they could watch the show or whatever. And you run into a chance of maybe you see somebody or meet somebody or whatever. But at least it was an affordable thing. And what I have been watching now, and this has been happening for a couple of years. And I remember a few years ago when I was in Indianapolis, I wanted to take the girl and the two kids to watch the Bengals play the Colts. And I was pissed because the seats that I would have had to buy were two or three levels up from where I usually sit. And you've been to games with me, and we usually kind of always sit on the same level in some capacity, wherever.
Right.
I would have had to pay almost triple the cost for seats two levels up to see a game. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Right. And then in the pandemic, when they first started allowing people back into football games after the pandemic, I had talked about the girl at the time and I going to Cleveland and watching the Bengals play the Cleveland. And it would have cost me for 2 tickets. By the time I figured hotel, 2 tickets, gas, and everything else, it would have been 14 hundo. That's not even counting food and concessions. It'd been 14 hundo to go watch a bad football game. And I'm like, no, not so much.
Right.
So now I've started looking at that more closely everywhere you go. Professional sports and sports entertainment has been slowly pricing out the middle class and the lower middle class for a long time now. And I think that sucks
Yeah.
because I don't think you should have to make a ton of money to be able to take your family to enjoy a game. And it's not just the
Well, they
ticket. It's not just the ticket into the game that you got to pay. You got to pay the fees on top of the ticket. Then you've got to pay
mm-hmm.
parking, which is anywhere from $15 to $30, depending on where you park. Then you've got to pay for obviously the gas to get there. And then when you're in there, you can't tell the kids they can't have anything to eat. So you're going to pay
Mm-hmm.
concessions, which is another, if you can get away with $60, you're lucky. But it's just, you've made these events that everybody wants to go to and everybody wants to be a part of, but you've made them so astronomically priced that the average person can no longer afford to do it. And that's what I think truly sucks. And when it comes to an NFL game, I'll be completely honest. The NFL is a victim of its own technological success. The NFL experience on TV is 150 times better than the NFL experience in a stadium is. And I have sat on the 20-yard or the 50-yard line 4 rows from the field, and I have sat in every corner of that fucking stadium that you can sit in. And I promise you, the TV experience is still a better experience. If you were to have
I can agree.
if you were to have 5 or 10 friends over to watch a game, it is a better experience than if you go to the stadium. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's sad that that's where we are now. That you have made something that should be fun that you cannot that most people can't afford to do. And I hope to God baseball doesn't follow suit, because right now baseball is still the one sport where if you want to take a family of 4, you could take a family of 4 to a Reds or a Tigers game or a minor league baseball game and still get in and let them have a good time. And I hope that doesn't change,
Mm-hmm.
because it will be a very sad day when it does. I now yield.
No, well, you know what? Remember, well, gosh, it was just a few weeks ago, Ticketmaster, and Live Nation coming under fire again
Right.
for, you know, cooking the market purposely so that they can juice everything that they can out of somebody. And it's sad that we're at a point where the upper class can do things without blinking an eye, where, someone who may be a little more of a 9 to 5 worker, has to plan something like that for months and save
Right.
for months before they can even consider thinking about doing, you know,
Well, and
going to a live event.
the sad thing is, let's say you're a single parent that's struggling today, which I'm sure there's 100 million of you out there. Let's say you want to take your kid to watch their favorite team play. You might save up and still, because of the taxes, the fees, and wherever, only be able to afford
Mhm.
a nosebleed seat because that's the best you can afford.
Exactly my point. You only have
Yeah,
so much time to save when tickets go on sale, or even
correct,
an event is announced, you
correct.
know. And God forbid you find out something that happens, that pops up, or even something that you find out, last minute, and you're like, "Oh my God, my kid would love to go to this." And you're
And
you're you're put in a position.
not one of you are allowed to at either us and say, oh my God, the concert industry. You, the consumer, the fan, the lazy people who thought music was a free commodity, are to blame for why the concert industry is as bad as it is right now when it comes to prices.
I wish I could say you're wrong, but that's
One
100%
thousand
true.
percent, 1,000%. It is your fault because somewhere you thought $1.99 single off iTunes was going to be as profitable to a record company as a $15 CD that you bought at Walmart. So where do they make that
Well,
money up? Merch and
yeah,
concert tickets.
exactly.
Congratulations. And all most of the artists
Exactly.
now sign what's called a 360 deal, which means the record label takes a piece of everything and
Hmm.
they don't get as much. And since singles don't quite sell like CDs used to, that money has to come from someplace. So you, the people who thought music should be free and be able to share, congratulations, you made a nice bed, lay in it, and the next couple of generations will lay in it also.
Let's be a little more specific. What was it? Was the Gaga album with iTunes?
It
Who
was
was it? It was somebody. I think it was Lady Gaga. I think it was. And the album was ridiculously cheap on iTunes. And that was the first time
sure.
people were like, "Oh my God, yeah, I can buy this album for bits and pieces
Right.
for pennies on the dollar."
Record labels messed up when this all started because they let the $1.99 BS go through. What they should have done is a single on, let's say, remember when you used to go in the store and you bought a CD single?
Buy a single like
Used to be
five
like
bucks or
5 or 6
something like that.
bucks, right? Okay. If
Hmm.
you were going to go to
Hmm.
iTunes, you could have cut that from five and could have charged three for the single, 3 or 4, because you weren't printing the artwork. You weren't paying for the plastic container the CD was going in. You weren't printing the physical CD itself, but you made that music worth something. And when it came to sharing and when it came to devaluing it, now you made it to where it's not worth anything. So don't get pissed when you got to pay $85 for a concert ticket that you should only be paying $45 for. Like, it's just, that's how it is. Like, it's the bed that everybody started making in the early 2000s and they thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Well, congratulations. This is why we can't have nice things. Like,
I
you,
want to backtrack because I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
no,
I'm sorry.
I'm
Go ahead.
good. Go backtrack away.
I don't know. I just want to backtrack and say I'm not 100% sure if it was the Gaga album. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. But
U2, I know U2 dumped their album on iTunes and people got pissed off because it ended up in their iTunes for free. And people were like, I don't want this. Like, and they just gave it away. But
is that maybe what I'm recalling?
one of them, but I don't know. But you make like you turned it into a single world and not an album world. And I mean, again,
Hmm.
if you would have made that CD single $3 at the time or $4 at the time, if you liked 3 songs on the album and you were going to buy 3 singles for 12, or you were going to buy the whole album for 15, would have been cheaper. Most people would have went, you know what? I'll just buy the whole album.
I'll just buy the album. Yep.
But instead, they didn't do that. They just bought, oh, it's only $1. I can get my 5 favorite singles off the album for $5 and let the rest of it sit there. Like, it's just, it's a vicious
Yeah.
cycle. But it's just,
It sucks.
I just think that like the ticket world, and it's not just the tickets too, like whether it's a concert ticket or a sporting ticket or whatever, you pay the fee, but then you're emailing me the tickets or you're digitally transferring it to my phone. I understood the fees, a couple of the fees, a little more when you had to physically pay someone to put those tickets in an envelope, put a stamp on that envelope, and mail it out. But now you don't do that
Right.
anymore. But you're
Hmm.
charging me to open my own
A
email and
service
download my own.
charge?
Yeah. Like,
What?
how many service
Minute.
charges are you charging me for one pair of tickets?
And and
Like,
and it's like
and again,
who's really servicing this? Isn't this is all
and
AI operated now.
instead of charging me a $20 per ticket service charge, how about you just charge me one fee for 2 tickets or 3 tickets or
I
4 tickets
agree. I
instead
mean,
of, because you're not doing, it's a digital world. Hell, I can't even take a paper ticket into a major league baseball park right now. Anything I have to do, it has to
right.
be on the app on your phone. So
Hmm.
like it should be more cost effective instead of going, well, we got to charge $25 a ticket for that processing fee for what? You to drag and drop? Like, it's, I mean,
Are there stadiums
that still
taking
allow
paper?
paper tickets. I don't know. I think some minor league parks probably do, but I know like anytime I've had to get Reds or Bengals tickets, they go in the app.
I know Dragons. It's all digital. I know. The loons back home are digital. Like you said, Reds and Bengals digital. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there are too many play that we have the pandemic to thank for that, but I don't think there are any parks. If there are, they're very far in between. Like kind of like the payphone, you know, these days. I would wager that that's kind of how it is now.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. It's just I just think it's a I just think it's really sad that that's where we are with everything.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I can't say that you're not wrong. So my what's on my mind, I thought kind of you were starting to touch on it. I guess in a way it kind of relates because anybody like you or I have purchased a video game. And nowadays most games are digital. And before you play any game nowadays, you have to agree to the terms that they set. And I mean, who reads those, right? I mean, but I kind of ran into an issue with this last year. Um I used to be an avid Call of Duty player. I play in fact, I would almost have to say the last 5 years of purchasing game consoles, it was primarily just so I could play the next Call of Duty. Um, but last year, just like any other year, um, agreed to the terms that you have to agree to before you play the game.
Sure.
And I guess part of those terms were an agreement to keep language at you. There were perimeters that they had, certain words you couldn't say. That caught me up a couple times. I'm not even gonna lie. But my issue with it was here I am paying my hard-earned money to play this game that I can't play. I can't really play any other way but online. And you're going to penalize me for my reaction in the heat of the moment in a game that you purposely heighten my adrenaline and then penalize me in a moment where I fail.
Okay.
I was chat banned a couple of times for maybe an F bomb. I mean, I was never like, I never said anything where I called someone, like a racial slur or anything like that. I was very particular in that regard, but yeah, an F bomb might have dropped a. But my point was, here you are, you're going to now keep me from being able to speak to other people over my reaction to something that happened. And it got
Mm,
me thinking. And and it's like, well, what if I purchase a game and I decide I don't agree to the terms? Well, what happens? I can't play the game if I don't agree to the terms. I can't take the game back because I don't agree to the terms. So you've kind of put me in a position where you've taken my money and now you can do whatever you choose to do with my ability to, or lack thereof, to play a game.
yeah. So all for language?
For language. Now I could see if I was purposely, if I dropped an N bomb, the N word at somebody, or I physically threatened to kill someone. But just for language and my reaction in the game,
You know how many little
for
kids I've heard swearing online that drives me crazy?
and apparently this was just something that Sony specifically was doing. Like any other um Xbox or PC gamers, they could say whatever they basically wanted to, and there was little that was done. But yeah, this was, and it just really upset me because it really got me thinking about it. It's like, what if, I am, I'm spending anywhere from 70 to $100 on these games, and you're forcing me to agree to something just to continue on. And if I don't agree, then I'm out the money that I spent on the game. There's no way that I can say, you know what? I didn't play the game. I decided I didn't agree to the terms that you guys have set for me to play this game. I want my money back.
Yeah, it doesn't work
And
that
if
way.
there is, right. And if there is a way to get your money back, I'd love to know how that works because I guarantee it's something that you've got to jump through hoops for.
Well, and I am convinced that like parents have no idea what their kids say when they're playing online.
Uh, I would agree with that maybe 10 years ago. But a lot of parents are sitting in the house when their kids are on these games. And unless they're
No, I mean,
all living in mansions the size of
no,
baseball
but
fields,
most,
they're hearing
mo-
them shout.
yeah, but most kids have games in their room now. Like
But that's
I,
my point, though.
when
You
we
can
were
still
growing
hear
up,
these kids.
when we were growing up, um, if you got sent to your room, it was an actual punishment because there was nothing to do up
Well,
there.
yeah.
Now you get
Hmm.
sent to your room, you're like, seriously? You want me to go to my, you
All
want me to go
right.
there? I don't have to ever leave, do I? Because I've got like a TV and a video game system, and I got my phone and everything else. Like they never need to come out.
My mother, my mother always threatened, like, if I hear that TV on, I go to your room. But if I even suspect that that TV was on, you're definitely going to be in trouble. But
Right.
no, I get it. But my point is, these kids, especially these kids these days, they rage hard. Like even like unless unless these kids are living in the east wing of their mansion, these parents hear them. Like, come on,
But now, do
come
they
on.
care? Do they care though? Because
But that's my point. That's all my point. If the parent doesn't care enough to do something about it, then like, come on. And I don't excuse the racial stuff because I've had it. I've literally gotten into a game and someone's, you know, saying stuff that they shouldn't. But
well, and I'm
listen,
not saying
I
kids never did it. I
I
mean, come on, all of us cussed and we used words that we didn't even know what they meant.
mhm.
Because it was just, you know, I heard that kid say this I had that kid say this on the playground or whatever. So now I'm going to use it.
Gosh, just a few weeks ago, I was working and I was walking past a group of kids that were kind of playing on a porch. Now I'm on the sidewalk, and they all kind of, paused and kind of stared at me as kids kind of do at a stranger walking on a sidewalk past them. And I looked over and I smiled and I said hello. And the two little girls that were the girls were maybe 9 or 10, smiled back and said hello. The little boy, I swear he was no more than maybe I would say between somewhere between 3 and 5. Kind of just gave me the blank stare, and I got about maybe 20 feet away, and I hear the kid say, the little boy say, "You better effing get out of here before I effing kill you." And the little girls giggled, like that. Oh my God, you just said that kind of giggle. And all I could do was look back and laugh. But I mean, we're at that we're kind of at that degree with the generation of children these days. I mean, I would have never imagined in a million years saying that to a grown up walking past it at that age. But
Yeah.
such is
Yeah.
the generation that lays before us, I guess.
Well, yeah, now you can say, I mean, again, I think the thing that's scary is just everybody is like, I want to know how long until Ready Player One becomes a reality, till everybody is actually an
We're
avatar.
almost
Just,
there.
yeah, it's just, it's scary. It's definitely scary. But, I mean, I know how, like, the short time that I spent, like, trying to help raise a child, it was kind of funny because when it first started, um, the adult female in the house was like, I'm not sure he has any friends. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, he just never goes anywhere. I'm like, do you see him in his room on his headset? I'm like, that's what they do. I'm like, they just all
Hmm.
play online. I'm like, if we were playing, had a night where we hung out with our friends and played video games, you'd have like 5 or 6 people in one room staying the night. Now you don't have to do that anymore. So it's a different,
Right.
but it's also like, go to my room, shut my door, put my headset on, and talk and do whatever I want.
Hmm.
And it's just kind of, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if it's a better world or a worse world. I mean, I'm kind of, there's part of me that wishes I could grow up now, but then there's another part of me that goes, I don't think I want to, because I had time to be a kid and I had time to like do things. Would I have liked more money to buy things? Absolutely. Would I have appreciated more technology? Sure. But at
Hmm.
the same time, like, it was nice to like not have everybody watching me all the time. Like, if I went out and played, you didn't have 5 different ways to contact me or whatever. I just knew I had to be home before it got too dark.
Right.
And that was fine. Like, it just kind of, I don't know. And I mean, again, I played a lot. I don't think there's a video game system that's been created on this planet that I haven't played or owned at least once. Like, it's not that I'm anti any of that. It's just, you know, I think it was one thing. I think it's one thing when you're in a room with your friends, because no matter what your behavior was, it was kind of self contained to that room. Now, when you're playing
Right.
online, your behavior and your mannerisms and everything else are just spread all over the place. And I don't know. Now I sound like an old man. Get off my digital
Well,
lawn.
there you kind of, oh gosh, which reminded me, um, kind of stemming back from last week's episode. Um, I saw this guy he was on a hoverboard.
Did he fall?
No,
No.
but I had to compliment his core strength. He was on a hoverboard pushing his infant children, 2 children, in a stroller.
Wow. I'm slightly impressed.
And I was I had to be I was very impressed at his core strength. And it was what made it even more impressive. He was crossing the street, and those sidewalks that kind of ramp up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this sitting at a red light going, "Oh, he is so gonna bite it." and, and he didn't. He just rolled like there wasn't anything there, and I'm like, "Wow." Like, the actual core strength. And this guy was about our age. He wasn't young. Like, he wasn't like a 20-year-old kid. I was like
Parents still
almost
able
kind
to
of
do that?
wondering if he was an uncle or a grandpa, because he was, don't give me the frown face. Like, I saw that. We are hovering at that age where infants
Now there's
infant in our lives would be at
no, but
least
there's,
you would
but I
hope.
mean, again, like stemming back
Yeah, I
on the
don't want to
wire,
hit the reset button.
stemming back. I do. Oh, I do. Oh, you can take me if you could take me back. What is it to the 2026? Let me go back to
No,
2000.
no, 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 no. I don't want to have another child at this stage in
Oh,
my age.
because I don't want to
That
have a.
is
I don't
that
want to have
is
a. I don't want to have a first child at this stage.
that's
But
what I'm
but I'm a
saying.
selfish prick, and I understand that. There's a reason why I've never reproduced. Like
Mhm.
I did. In fact, world age, y'all owe me a favor. Like I'm it, one and done. That's it. Nothing lingering. Nothing to carry on with all this. When it's gone, it's
You
gone.
realize
Rejoice.
with what you're saying right now, the world is going to throw you some kind of curveball. It's some woman is going to show up at your door.
No,
Some teenage boy is going to knock on your door going, "Wow, it's taken me a minute to find you, but
no, not at all. Not at all. No, absolutely not. No, but I was saying I feel like there's two degrees of old man. There's the old man that I was talking about last week
Mhm.
in the spandex with no shorts on over top of him and just hanging out. And there's a dude in my gym that's got to be 60. But this dude is like Schwarzenegger 60. Like he's,
Mhm.
you know, I came to pump me up.
I'm
Like he's, I mean,
I'm slowly coming to terms with that I'm going to fall in column A in a sense.
well,
The, I'm gonna be
hold
that
on,
frail old man.
hold on.
I don't think I don't see myself wearing spandex, but
Show of hands if you've worn or wear a copper fit. Yep, my hand's not
like
up.
that has put that
It does.
you make it sound like no, come on now. No, now people don't wear sports
I
sleeves.
remember the day I noticed it and your reaction. I'm like, Mike, is that a copper fit? Yes.
Like, so what? Like,
Cool. It's keeping it together. I got it. The copper binds the knee into place.
I mean, come on. I'm
It's okay. Don't you try go out there and try to do some of those Cisco dance moves with your copper pit on?
not in even a million copper fits. I
Boys, you
can't.
should have seen your daddy back in his day.
Oh my God. I what, a few days ago, I was trying to pull some weeds in the yard, and it was maybe an hour task.
Three
And
hours
the
later.
pain I felt in my knees the rest of the day was ungodly. I was so thankful for the adjustable bed that I had that night because
I
I was
give
able to
you
put my legs up.
I gave you a hard time, but the day after I changed your brakes, I was so miserably sore for 2 days from slinging tires around and like breaking bolts free. Like it hurt. And then
Yes.
last weekend, or was it yesterday? I was boxing yesterday, but over the weekend, I moved all these crates in the storage and just like
Hmm.
carrying those around. Like I went to box and I'm like, oh, my arm is still sore from carrying crates. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So,
I wondered the day after, like that brief moment. I guess maybe older folks like us can kind of relate. I'd like to think, but it took me a moment to backtrack and realize why the hell is my body so sore, like my back and my muscles, and I'm like, what? Why? Like I know I didn't like go out drinking and fall, or why is my back so sore? But it was from from changing tires and
yeah,
brakes and stuff.
it's not for the old. It's definitely a game for the young, that's for sure. So, all right. Well, what have we learned today? Let's see. Mike is swearing at kids on video games and getting banned
No,
from.
no, come on now. That's not true. Now you're turning it into something that it wasn't.
That's
If
true.
anything, I'm looking for somebody to help me take the reins and fight back against these people. Look, we at least need a way to take the game back if we don't have a way
I agree.
to like if I don't agree, then I should be able to go, "Hey, listen, I my bad for making this purchase, but I want my money back. You can
I agree.
keep your game."
I 100% agree with you there. And, we also talked about how nobody can afford to go to games anymore. So maybe we all pull our money together and we buy one ticket. And then we just kind of like find ways to sneak in and out the entire time. Oh, wait, there's no re entry. Never mind.
There's
You know what? Maybe, hang on. Maybe
not,
we pull
not
our
to mention
maybe we
going
pull
on
all
to
of
a
our money together
podcast.
and we buy 4 tickets for 4 individual games, and then one person gets to go each game. All right, you guys sit here in the bar and have drinks. I'm gonna go over to the game now. Like, I'll see you
Now,
later.
correct me if I'm wrong. This is coming from the guy that removed someone who was trying to let girls into the back of a event, trying to
Yeah,
sneak girls into us.
yeah.
But it's not okay in that situation.
Hell no,
But
it's not.
let's
Hell no, it's
let's
not. You
cheat
know
the
why?
system.
You know
Let's
why?
cheat the
Because
system.
you know why it's not okay? Because the guy who removed said asshole for trying to sneak people in had to sit across the table and account for tickets that needed to be sold. So yeah, no,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So when the shoe is on the other foot, it's
absolutely,
okay.
absolutely. I had a bottom
It
line.
becomes it's so clear to me now.
I had a bottom
I
line to
totally
hit.
understand.
Bottom line to hit. Anyway, speaking of bottom lines, that's the bottom line. Have a great week. We will catch up with you sooner than later. And don't say anything I would say, and probably, I don't know, don't do anything I would do either. You'll probably live a much happier life.
That don't what?
Whatever. I don't have a catchphrase yet, Mike. God, so picky.
Deuces.